Hey guys, welcome back to Carly at the Needle and Hook Nook, and this is part 2 of Lost Souls. So we were just starting our new line where we start our new skulls on either side. So this is row 8, and we are going to chain 3, turn our work, and this time we are going to do a double shell. So 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 more double crochets. If you remember that the eyebrow row is the row where you start your new skulls. So then we're going to chain 2 and do another shell. So 2 more double crochets, chain 1 and 2 more double crochets, and then we are going to move on to our skull. So we now have 2 double crochets, 1 single or 1 chain 1, 2 chains, and then 2 more double crochets and a chain 1 and 2 more double crochets. So we're going to chain 3 again, and we're now going to come into that very first half double that we did with a single crochet. We're now going to crochet 7 singles around that first eye socket. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then rather than going and 7, sorry, and then skipping that single crochet, we will work straight into the next chain 7 space with 7 more single crochets, and then 1 single crochet in that half double at the end. 6, 7, I think. Yep, and then into that half double with another 7, a single crochet. We will then chain 3 and repeat the double shell on the other end. So remember, this is row 8, or the row where you complete his eyebrows. So that's 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet, and that's the end of row 8. Row 9, we will be starting the foundation row for the chins on our to either sides, and we will be further reducing the skull to bring it down. So we're going to chain 3, wrap and turn our work, and shell in that first shell. That's 2 doubles, chain 1, 2 doubles. So that's 1 and 2 on the end there. Now we are going to create that chin line again. So we're going to chain 7 and then skip that chain 2 space in the middle and a shell in the chain 1 space of the previous shell. So that's 2 doubles, chain 1, 2 doubles. So that's 1 and 2 at the end to complete. We're now going to there. Oh, we've got his mouth line coming along, or his chin line rather, coming along great. And we're going to come back to the middle of our work. So we're going to chain 3, and this time we're going to skip that first one, go into the second one, and work 6 single crochets along. So 1, 2, 3, I think 3, hold on, 4, oh no, 4, 5, and 6. Skip 7 and 8 and go into 9 and do another 6 single crochets. So if you remember before, we did 1 single into the half double, then we did 7, then 7 again and 1. So we have 16, we're doing 6 now, so we've reduced 16 down to 12. So in row 9, we've reduced the skull to 12, and we have created the chin line, chain 7 chin line for our side skulls. So we're now going to chain 3 again, So 1, 2 and 3, shell in the previous shell, chain 7, shell in the last shell, and that is the end of row 9. So we've chained our 7, 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets to complete that shell in that final shell. Done. And now on to row 10 and giving him a lip and further reducing our skull in the middle. But if you lie him flat down now, you can see the pattern clearly, and it's coming along so well that our trim shape will like come up in a V and make a diamond. So row 10 for the side skulls is a repetition of row 3. Chain 3, turn your work, shell in the first shell, and then chain 3, 7 double crochets around the chain 7, chain 3, and then shell in that other shell. Then we're going to chain 3 and come back to further reduce our initial skull. So we've done the shell for our new skull on the right side. We're now going to chain 3 again and further reduce the guy in the middle. So now we're going to skip the first single crochet and we're going to do 10 single crochets along. So now reducing 12 to 10, and then chain 3 and mirror this side. So shell in the first shell, chain 3, 7 double crochets around your chain 7, chain 3 and shell at the end to finish row 10. And that has added the chin to the two guys on the side and reduced the middle forehead to 10. So that's a shell in the or chain 3, shell in the shell, chain 3, 7 double crochets over the chain 7, chain 3 and another shell in that final shell. And we are well and truly into our second 2 faces of our Lost Souls shawl. In row 12 we will now be giving the side faces a mouth hole and further reducing the middle skull. So we shall shell in the middle, in the first shell, sorry. So chain 3, 2 double crochets, chain 1 and 2 more double crochets. We will now chain 3 again to make that bridge in between. 1, 2 and 3, repeating what we did in our first skull. Single crochet into that first double, then chain 7 and single crochet into the final double to create his mouth hole, and then chain 3 and do our shell in the other shell, and then we will come back to finish or carry on reducing our middle skull. So now he has a mouth hole. We have completed that shell and we are going to chain 3 again, skip the first 2 stitches this time, and we're going to reduce the 10 to 6. So we're going to skip 2 on either end. So into the third, we're going to chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, chain 3, shell, chain 3, and then mirror the other side, which is single crochet into the first double, chain 7, single crochet into the last double, then we're going to chain 3 and shell in that final shell. So 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, and that is the end of row 12. And now our second skull has his mouth hole and we have a final shell on the end. So now on to row 13, where we give our 2 side guys a top lip and we do our final reduction on our middle one. So we chain 3, turn our work, shell in that first shell, and then as we did on row 5, I believe, we are going to chain 3 single crochet into the first single crochet, 7 single crochets along his lip, and single crochet into the final single crochet, so that will give you 9 across his top lip, chain 3 and a shell in the next shell, and then we'll come back when we're doing the last reduction on our middle skull. So now here we are, we've done that shell. We're going to chain 3 again, and we're going to do the final reduction. So we're going to skip 1, and we're going to single crochet in 4 of those stitches. 2, 3, and 4. Chain 3, shell in that shell, chain 3, and then go over to the other guy and repeat what we did on the other side and give him a top lip. And that is the end of row 12. And in our next row we are going to close up that middle guy. So we are now row 13, and we are going to chain 3, turn our work, shell in the first shell. Now our side guys need noses now. So do our first shell, chain 1, 2 more double crochets, and then we are going to chain 3 again, come over to our little guy on the side, and we are going to single crochet in the first 3 single crochets, then do a double crochet for his nose, 1 chain, skip 1, double crochet in the 6th one, and then 3 more singles in the 7th, 8th and 9th, chain 3, shell, and then we'll be back with our middle guy. So there we've completed that shell, and now rather than doing a chain, we're just going to go straight into that next shell with another shell, and that will complete our middle head. And then in the next row we will be adding a chain 2 there, and then a new skull will start above that first one as well. So we'll get to the end of that row, and then we are going to turn our work. We are going to do our shell in our first shell, and now our new 2 side guys need their eye holes. So we'll chain 3 again, and we're going to 1, 2 and 3, now half double crochet into that first one for his first eye socket. So half double crochet, get that one through. Now chain 7, single crochet in his nose hole, chain 7 again, half double into that first single, or last single in this case, chain 3 and a shell in our shell again. Then we will come back to how we're going to finish our middle guy, or carry on with our middle guy. So we've done that shell on the other end. Now, as I said before, we're going to chain 2 where before we just went straight into the new shell. So chain 2, so it's now similar to the other side, and do a shell in that shell, and then chain 3 and give your guy on the other side some eye sockets. So half double crochet in the first, chain 7, single into the nose hole, chain 7, half double on the end for a single crochet, chain 3 and finish with your shell. So now both our side guys have their eye sockets, the pattern is coming along lovely, and we have set the scene for a new guy in the middle. Now remember, it's the row with the eyebrows where we'd be starting to increase for our new skull. If we were choosing to continue and add more skulls, so you would just repeat exactly what you've done before, double shell in either end, shell, chain 2, shell in the middle, and then double shell in the end, and then repeat the process as you've done so far, or come back for my other video on how to finish it off. And if you're looking to expand your repertoire of skills and hobbies, please check out my other videos on foraging and how to use them.